now I will introduce you to my new apprentice, Darth Tyrannus. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. To celebrate the return of Star Wars Episode 3 to theaters, today I'm taking a look at the Revenge of the Sith retro card Count Dooku, also known as Darth Tyrannus. Heretofore, the only Revenge of the Sith figure I've looked at on this channel is Darth Sidious. I guess Obi-Wan was right. Sith Lords are our speciality. Starting with the packaging, and what can I say? I've been looking forward to this. I love me a retro card, and my nostalgia for these is palpable. The Battle of the Heroes reflected in Darth Vader's helmet. The floor is lava. Dooku on the side clearly posing for the Star Wars Visual Dictionary. And on the back a picture of what I imagine Christopher Lee's expression was like when he discovered the whole thing was going to be shot on a green screen. Tiny blurb, product shot, the worst thing that ever happened to Star Wars, and the UPC for those searching in-store. Bringing me to my only complaint, how Walmart mangled mine in shipping. More about that later. For now, and for packaging, I'm giving Count Dooku 5 points. Although he didn't get a lot of screen time, Count Dooku is one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars prequels and maybe the series in general. I'd go so far as to say that his duel with Anakin in Revenge of the Sith is one of the best in the prequel trilogy. It just gets overshadowed by how big and flashy the other ones are. If you want to duel like a real Jedi or Sith, then you're gonna need a lightsaber from N-Sabers. They're the sponsor of today's video, and were kind enough to send me this lightsaber based on Anakin's from Revenge of the Sith. In fact, it's so fancy that N-Sabers included monogrammed gloves just to handle it. And you know what? I absolutely get it. This is not a prop. This is a work of art. All the machine work is breathtaking. Peeking inside and just look at it. If you look really closely, you can actually see the kyber crystals that power it. If you're having a hard time spotting them, here you go. I could try spinning. That's a neat trick. That is cool. Another nice feature are the Aurebesh letters engraved around the hilt. It's the kind of attention to detail that just makes this feel real. Oh! By holding down these buttons, you can change things like the color of the blade, the way it ignites and powers down, or even different lighting effects. And if all that wasn't enough, N-Sabers also includes this acrylic stand. Only a Sith deals in absolutes, but this is absolutely the best lightsaber I have ever had. From the bottom of my heart, I mean it when I say if I could only keep one Star Wars collectible in my collection, this would be it. If you want to add one of these incredible pieces to your collection, N-Sabers is offering a special discount to my viewers. Just use the code 5POA Figure Reviews to get 7% off. Not only that, but they have a huge sale going on right now to celebrate Star Wars Day, so definitely check it out. Link in the description, and my deepest thanks to N-Sabers for making this video possible. Moving on to presentation, and to quote Anakin Skywalker, yippee! Wait, no, not that one. This is where the fun begins. First things first, and Sir Christopher stands at 6 3/8 inches, or they're about 16 1/4 centimeters. Christopher Lee was 6'5", so for a 1/12 scale figure where 1 inch equals 1 foot, this is perfect. And speaking of perfect, check out this head sculpt. It really captures that, oh, how did the Visual Dictionary put it? Signature look of superiority. Though lest we forget the costly hand-woven tunic from Vajun. And if anyone deserves a signature look of superiority, it's horror icon / Tolkien scholar / metal singer Christopher. I know what a man being stabbed to death really sounds like, Lee. The face printing is on point, though I expect a customizer could go in to add some blemishes, but for a mass market release, I am stunned. Why, you might even say I find his gaze immobilizing, comparing him to the neck of Dracula, and I do think Hasbro has the better likeness. Regardless of what you think of the figure though, if you're enjoying the video, do me a favor and give it a like. Moving down, and I do have mixed feelings about the cape. The fabric is nice enough, and on that note I am glad that it's soft goods, but the seams are really pronounced, and I'm not all that crazy about the collar. In the film, the back of the collar is kinda high, but this really sticks up. If you fold it in on itself, it's not that bad, but then it looks kind of weird around the shoulders, and let's be honest, it's only a matter of time before it pops out again. That said, I do appreciate the plastic chain. As for the body, it's complete reuse of the previous version. I can't help but wonder if the torso torso is too small or the arms are too big, but the sculpted details are very lifelike. But hey, that's just the quality you expect from a costly hand-woven tunic from Vajun. Working our way down, all the wrinkles do a great job of hiding the articulation, and while the boots are plain, they have an incredible shine. Why, he could probably see his own reflection in them, you know, if he wasn't Dracula. For presentation, I'm giving Count Dooku 4 points. Moving on to poseability, and much like Christopher Lee's performance, despite the material he was given to work with, this is surprisingly good. From the top, and he has a dumbbell joint in the base of the skull and a ball joint at the base of the neck. Using both, and he can signature look of superiority up this high. Here he is looking straight, and then here's Dooku looking down. The extra articulation does give him a very lifelike tilt, and of course all the way around. And for those wondering, no, the head doesn't just easily pop off. Moving down, Dooku can raise his arms 90 degrees, complete rotation of the shoulders, and gets forward and back thanks to a butterfly joint. No bicep swivel, but he does get swivel along with single jointed elbows. Even though they're single jointed, the cut is very deep, giving him a 45-degree bend. And no, the forearms aren't removable either. Moving to the middle, and all of Dooku's torso articulation is in this ball jointed waist. I know some of you would prefer that he has an ab crunch or a diaphragm joint, but for the sake of preserving the sculpt of a more realistic character, I'm okay with that. Also, he was like, what, 80? How limber do you need him to be? With that in mind, he can only arch back this far. For context, here's straight, and here he is hunching forward. Huh. I didn't know McFarlane made this. Dooku does, however, get a more than serviceable amount of side-to-side tilt, and of course twist. Underneath that costly hand-woven Vajun tunic, and Count Dooku has ball-jointed hips. The plastic is nice and soft, and you've got slits on the side, allowing Christopher to kick 90 degrees. His legs can go back this far, and this Sith Lord split is pretty impressive. Pulling up on that tunic, and we can see it does a great job of hiding thigh cut, and then moving down, we've got single-jointed swivel knee. That serves as a substitute for boot cut, and while nothing to write home about, is still good enough for an old guy like this. Lastly, and Lord Tyrannus has ankles that can hinge, and like Count Dooku himself from the light side to the dark, pivot. For poseability, I'm giving Count Dooku 3 points. Moving on to playability, and it's obvious that this contest cannot be determined by my knowledge of packaging, presentation, or poseability, but by our skills with a lightsaber. That being because the lightsaber is all that Count Dooku comes with. I've always admired the creativity of Dooku's curved fencing saber, and to Hasbro's credit, they have captured all the detail, even the finest of texture. The blade, of course, is removable, and the hilt pegs onto his belt like so. Hasbro did, however, include this alternate swooshing blade. You can see how it fades from red to clear, offering a pretty cool effect option. Things like alternate hands or Sith lightning would have been nice as well, but at the very least, Dooku has it where it counts. Of course, playability is more than just puns, it's also about how well your figure plays with others. First up, and it's only fitting to display Dooku with a super battle droid. It came in a 2-pack with this clone trooper. For my only Yoda, and here's the Empire Strikes Back 2-pack version, but for Count Dooku's former Padawan, and here's the 3-pack version of Qui-Gon Jinn, along with that Phantom Menace 3-pack version of Obi-Wan. As for Revenge of the Sith, and this one comes from the Archive Collection and could use an update. Otherwise, and for Dooku's predecessor, and here's Darth Maul from the 3-pack, along with their mutual master, Darth Sidious the Emperor. Although they never shared the screen in Star Wars, it seems appropriate to bring Christopher Lee together with his longtime friend and co-star, Peter Cushing, as he appeared as Grand Moff Tarkin. And speaking of Hammer, here's Dooku with NECA's Horror of Dracula. For a relative scale comparison, and here's Dooku with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man, and as always, here he is with Stealth Iron Man. My friend, it appears you've suffered a lightsaber injury. Actually, it's more of a factory defect. Ah, then you are a droid. For playability, I'm giving Count Dooku 4 points. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. I got Count Dooku for $24.99, but he is exclusive to Walmart. No! Thanks to being an exclusive, on the aftermarket he's going for upwards of $50. Twice the pride, double the fall indeed. He's currently sold out on the app, but if you find him in stores and need a Dooku, definitely pick him up. For price, I'm giving Count Dooku 4 points, still putting him on the good side of the Force with a grand total of 4 out of 5. As Star Wars villains go, let me know in the comments where Count Dooku ranks for you. Once again, my deepest gratitude to N-Sabers for making this video possible. For more Star Wars videos, check out one of these, and until next time, play nice, have fun, and May the Force be with you.